much for that welcome. That was, I think that's the first time anybody has welcomed me like that and introduced me like that. So thank you so much for that. It was very warm and very sweet. So let's get started with the presentation. Aftab, can you just tell me if you can see the screen?
Okay. You haven't shared it, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna share it. Yeah,
Yeah, I can see
yeah.
it.
Okay. So, so the topic we're going to be discussing today is From Notes to Novels, a creative writer's journey. I'm not going to be teaching you how to write novels. I'm just going to talk about the journey that you need to follow to get there. So, if you're a student or in school or in college, or even if you're somebody who's established their career, what can you do or what steps can you take to become a creative writer eventually? So, firstly, we need to discuss what creative writing is. Now, if you look at this definition, it's like a really big definition talking about how it's not professional or journalistic writing. And obviously, the easiest way to explain it is the art of writing literary works such as poems, novels, plays, memoirs, or biographies. And the simplest way to say it, it's not technical writing. So, if you're talking about technical writing, it's stuff that you would see in either newspapers or academic essays. It'll be very formal writing, and you're just trying to provide information. Whereas with creative writing, it's you're trying to evoke emotions, and you're trying to help the reader visualize what they're trying to, or what you're trying to convey, basically. So the most simplest way to put it would be technical writing requires only your brain, whereas creative writing also requires your heart. Okay, so this is a great example by Anton Chekhov. So don't tell me the moon is shining, show me the glint of light on broken glass. So a technical writer would say something like the moon is shining, which is giving you that information, they're conveying the message. Whereas a creative writer would say, I watched as a glint of light danced on broken glass, reflecting the orb of light on in the night sky or something like that. So it'll tell you that the moon is shining, but it'll tell it to you in such a creative way that you can actually picture it, right? So now, okay, why should you explore creative writing? And I personally believe that even if you don't want to become a writer and you don't want to pursue writing as a career, you should still explore creative writing. And there are many reasons why. So if you don't want to be a writer, if you're just, you want to pursue some other course, I think you should still explore creative writing, and here's why. So the first reason would be to explore your creative and artistic self-expression. It's a great way to, sort of. So if you're somebody who does, short films or things like that, or if you're somebody who likes to paint, or if you any kind of creative work, I always feel like if you write down what your thoughts are, or just let your emotions free, and just like try to express yourself, basically you get a clearer idea on what your final product, or what you want your final product to be. So and it's a great way to understand your own creativity, and it's a great way to understand what you want out of that creativity. Second one is thought clarification. Now this is a really important one. This is especially for people who want to write formal pieces of writing or technical pieces of writing. So I know that a lot of people feel very pressured when you have to, like, maybe submit an essay for school or for college or something like that. So what you could do, or even write a formal email, because you feel like, oh, what if I forget to write something, or what if I don't convey what I need to? So the first thing you can do is free write. So free writing is basically you just write without any boundaries. Don't worry about grammar or language or vocabulary. Just write whatever comes to your head. You can just keep writing it, let it go, let it flow. And when you do that, whatever you need to convey, it'll just come automatically. So you can just write it any way you like. You can just write it as a list, you can write it as a poem or an essay, or you can write it whatever in whatever way you want. After which you can, cluster the important information and then structure it and then create a technical piece of writing. So to get to a technical piece of writing, creative writing is a really good way to go through it. Also, another thing that you could do is people who want to go for interviews. So, like a couple of days before you go for an interview, what you could do is kind of do like a script writing thing. So you have an interviewer and you have you, where the interviewer sort of asks questions about, what questions would an interviewer generally ask, and what would you want to reply to them, right? So you could do that, and that kind of will prepare you to speak to that person. You'll kind of discover what your strengths and weaknesses are, which is mostly what they ask during interviews. The third one is obviously to capture memories and experiences, and I think a lot of people do this. Like I feel like a lot of people do journal writing or diary writing, and you don't even have to do it every day. You can just like um, sort of do it once in a while, just to highlight certain high points in your life, or maybe low points in your life. And if you are somebody who does it every day, just think about the amount of information you have at the end of the year. You'd know exactly what you did in an entire year, and you'd see how you evolved from the beginning till the end in that entire year, and that's such a beautiful thing. So creative writing is a great way to do that. And fourth is relaxation, and this is something personally that helps me as well. So relaxation. So I feel like writing is like meditation sometimes, especially if you're frustrated or something and you wanna just let go of whatever is in your mind. It's a great way to do that. Personal growth, again, I was talking about writing it for to prepare for interviews. So a way to do that is basically, there's somebody scribbling on my screen. Can you please stop that?
Yeah, make sure that nobody touches your screen. ഫോണിൽ നിന്ന് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നവരെല്ലാവരും make sure that you are not touching the screen. കാരണം അത് സ്ക്രീനിന്റെ മേലെ അടയാളങ്ങൾ വരുത്തും. So make sure that you are not touching your screen. ലാപ്ടോപ്പിൽ നിന്നായാലും ഫോണിൽ നിന്നായാലും.
Yeah. Okay. So personal growth. So a great way to improve your, to first of all understand who you are and to improve your self confidence and things like that, is to understand your own strengths and weaknesses. So what you do is basically you introspect, which is you look into yourself, and you retrospect, which is you look at the past and how you've grown, and you write about it. You write down things, and by writing it, you make it more tangible. And I personally have had to do reflective essays for my college essays and stuff, and it's been amazing because then I realize what I'm good at and what I'm not good at and what I have to improve. So creative writing is definitely going to help you, improve your confidence, improve your language skills, all that kind of thing. Obviously language improvement, it will help you with your vocabulary. So if you learn a new word, you can start writing sentences, or you can make a story with it. This is something I used to do. So I would learn like 5 new words, and then I would make a story with it or write a poem with it, so that I'd learn that word better. And you can experiment with sentence structures, and if you, especially language, any language, it can be English, it can be Malayalam, it can be Hindi, it can be any language. If you want to improve your language, creative writing is a great way to do it, because it's more interesting, right? Writing stories is more interesting than writing essays, and you will have fun doing it. And finally, brain development. So this is kind of like, I don't know how many of you play Sudoku or like do puzzles and things like that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you do that. And the reason it's so interesting is because you have to figure out how these things fit together, so that by the end of it you have a perfect picture, right? So it's kind of like that. So imagine you're writing a story, and even if you take a movie, you'll see that there are so many movies that we watch where there are plot holes, right? Like things don't make sense. So something happens in the beginning of the movie, and then somewhere else something would happen which doesn't make sense with the first part. Or even if when you read a story, sometimes some things don't make sense. So when you write a story, or when you write something, a long form piece of creative writing, you need to make sure that every part makes sense, every scene makes sense, every character makes sense, the character's evolution makes sense. Because if these things don't make sense, your story won't be strong. Basically, it won't function. So, and it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to put, have all your different scenes and then put them all together and have the big picture without plot holes, without gaps. It's not an easy thing to do. So it takes a lot of effort to think about it, and to, so even if you take like a murder mystery, if you take Sherlock Holmes, he has to arrange, like Arthur Conan Doyle is the one who started writing it. So obviously he has to arrange each clue properly, and he has to write it in a certain way, so that by the end of it, even the reader is surprised with how he came to that conclusion, right? So it's not an easy thing to do. So it's kind of like doing a puzzle. So it's great opportunity for brain development exercises. Now, the next one is obviously, if you want to become a writer, why should you pursue creative writing if you want to become a writer? Because you love writing more than anything. There's nothing else I have to say for this. Charles Bukowski is one of my favorite writers. And this is what he said. He said, find what you love and let it kill you. And that's kind of like my life mantra. So if you find, and this doesn't apply just to writing, it applies to everything. If you find something that you really, really love, let it consume you, let it be your everything. So if you love writing more than anything else, then you can be a writer. There's no doubt about it. Now, what are the aptitude and skills you require for creative writing. So if you want to become a writer and if you want to become a professional creative writer, these are things that you need. So first one is talent. Now a lot of people will get scared when I say talent, because a lot of people have this insecurity that we're not talented enough. Even I have it from time to time, and that's okay. And I feel the reason is because a lot of people don't realize the talents that we have, and I think Mentor Hub is a great platform to sort of, to figure out what our talents are and things like that. So talent is something a lot of us have, but we don't understand because we don't explore them. So don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure most of you are talented enough to write this. Second one is persistence. It's very, very difficult to stay on track. It's very difficult to not give up. I know that because it's like you have to write so many pieces of writing to get at least one or two good ones, and it takes so much effort. It takes so long to finally get where you want to, and it's very easy to give up. So, but I feel like it's so much, it's so worth it if you finally do get there. Virginia Woolf, she said, finding diamonds in the dust heap. So basically, there'll be a lot of writing that you've done, and most of it won't even be worth it. It won't be published worthy, or it won't be, it's not something you could show, but then there would be diamonds among there, and I guess you just have to find it. And third one is patience. And again, honestly, all of this applies to me because I'm still learning, I'm still honing my craft. So patience also, it's something that we all need. So I started compiling or working on my book, my first book, last year, a little over a year ago, and let me tell you, it really, really made me very, very impatient, because firstly I decided to self-publish, which means I do everything. So I have to compile, I have to edit, I have to do the formatting, I basically have to do most of it. So, and it really, really frustrated me, because sometimes things won't work out. I would have to try different softwares, I would have to look at different platforms, things like that. And your patience will run out very, very quickly, especially because writing is a very solitary job. You're sitting there and you're writing. There's no one else to help you there, right? It's you are alone with your thoughts. It's all coming from your own head, and it's not an easy thing to do when you're faced with your own demons, right? So it's not easy. So what I suggest is, to help you stay on track, have a support system, have people who will encourage you and support you. And that's the main reason I got to where I am. So the fourth one is the ability to face criticism and rejection, and this is like a very important one. um, and this is not just for writing, every creative person will face rejection, because arts in general, it's a very subjective subject. So people have different opinions. There's no right or wrong way. Some people like it, some people don't like it. So maybe some people will like a particular kind of poetry, some people will like a particular kind of short story, and not everybody will like the same kind of thing. So it's very easy to get rejected. I have gotten rejected multiple times from different online publications and things like that, and that's okay. You have to keep working, you have to keep improving, and you have to find the right kind of outlet and the right kind of platform that will accept your work as well. And criticism, so this is also something that applies to me, because I get very, very frustrated and offended when people say that what you've written is not good, or there's an error in what you've written, or maybe there's a plot hole or something like that. And I understand why that happens, because as a writer, what you've written is like your baby, and you don't want other people to say bad things about your baby, right? But for your baby to grow up and become a good human being, you need to give some criticism and guide that baby properly, or they won't turn into a good person. They'll just turn into a spoiled bratty kid, and you don't want that. So you have to accept criticism if there's and make sure the people who are giving you criticism actually give you proper criticism, not just good comments. Good comments is not going to get you anywhere. You need people to actually be honest with you about your writing, and you need to have thick enough skin to accept those criticisms. Fifth one is obviously imagination. You need an imagination for creative writing. Like I said, you need your heart, not just your head. Technical ability, I think in this day and age, you need technical ability for everything, any kind of career. And as far as writing goes, I feel like it's not very expensive. It's mostly just things like Word, and if you're doing if you're doing blogging or something like that, you need to know how to navigate through those websites, things like that. And if you're exploring self-publishing like me, you would have to know certain things, like if you're going to do all of these on your own, you have to know some formatting softwares and things like that. You may have to just it's not difficult, it's very easy to do. You find everything on the internet these days, and you can learn everything off of the internet. It's very easy. So a certain amount of technical ability is necessary. There are a lot of writing apps and writing softwares, but I don't personally use them. I don't find them that useful. I still stick to pen and paper, and that's completely fine. But when you want to publish your work or to upload your work, you will need a little bit of technical ability. So the seventh one is communication skills. Again, a no-brainer. You need to effectively convey what you're trying to say. So this is actually a lot of people say that to be a writer, you need to have like a very extensive vocabulary. You don't need a very extensive vocabulary. What you need is the apt vocabulary. I mean, you need to know the words that you need to use in those, in those places. You shouldn't run out of words. That's the only thing. You don't need to have like, you don't need to be Shashi Tharoor basically. Okay, if you love the language, go ahead, study the vocabulary. It's all good. But if you're just trying to, become a writer, you don't need that great a vocabulary unless you really, really love the language and you want to go forward and do that. Finally, the eighth one is power of observation. This is again very, very important because when you're like, for example, that Anton Chekhov's one, he was talking about the glint of light on broken glass. You won't be able to write like that unless you actually watch it, unless you actually observe it. So, for example, if you want to write a scene with rain, so I'm going to walk outside. There are so many things we can look with rain, right? The smell of the earth after it rains, or the sound rain makes on different surfaces. Look, how does it sound when it falls on a puddle of water? How does it sound when it falls on tiles? How does it sound when it falls on the roof? So it's different sounds. You need to observe every tiny thing. And this is one thing I've just spoken about, the rain, and it makes different sounds in three different scenarios. So you need to be really, really observant. And I think again that is very, very common if you take any kind of arts. You need to be very observant. Even when you read, you need to observe how the writer has written that book, how has he started it, how have they ended it, how have the characters evolved, all those kind of things. Ninth one, problem solving. I already talked about this. You need to have problem solving abilities because otherwise you will have plot holes if you're writing stories, especially. Language skills, again, if you don't love the language, you cannot be a writer. You need to love the language, whatever language you're writing in. Malayalam, English, Hindi, Tamil, whatever language you're writing in, you need to love the language. There is no two ways about it. Vocabulary, again, you don't need an extensive vocabulary, but you need good enough vocabulary so that you can write it easily without um, you shouldn't come to a situation where you're writing and then suddenly out of the blue you don't know what word to put there. So you need to know the language fluently enough to be able to write it properly. So, and grammar is so important. This is something I've seen a lot. I've read a lot of stories written by a lot of people where the ideas are amazing, the concept is amazing, the characters are really good, but the grammar is all wrong or the sentence structuring is wrong, and that story could be so powerful, but because of the grammatical errors it's holding it back, right? So grammar is really, really important, and I think it's very, very important that you love the language in order to be a good writer. Now, fearlessness. Now, this is something a lot of people struggle with. It's that they're scared. They're scared to start, and they're scared to publish. They're scared to upload. They're scared. What will people think of me? There are so many things, and it's common to a lot of creative arts. A lot of people have come and asked me, "How do I start writing?" I can't tell you how to start writing. You just have to start writing. And the reason people don't start writing is because I'll make a mistake or it won't be good. And there's a poet called Louis Borgin who said, who quoted the knife of the perfectionist attitude. So basically, perfectionism or trying to make your first draft perfect is going to kill your creativity and it's going to kill your career. So postpone perfection. Don't focus on trying to make things perfect. Your first draft will always be the worst. Your first book will always be the worst. You can only get better. You're at the bottom of the ladder right now. Try not to be get try not to get scared. Even I get scared all the time. Like whenever I'm going to start writing something, I'll be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. But you have to get through it, and trust me, it'll definitely make a difference. And finally, we have adaptability. Now, this is for people who don't want to stick to a particular. So with creative writing, there are so many opportunities, right? You can do blogging. You can do, you can publish as a novelist or a poet or a short story writer. Um, you can go for copywriting, so many different things. And I feel like as a creative writer, you have the ability to do all of this. So I think the most important thing is that we be able to adapt to these different kinds of writing, because all of them require different styles of writing. So to be a writer like that, you need to read different kinds of books, you need to look at different kinds of writing, and if you do all that, you can adapt according to different situations, and also experiment with different styles of writing so that you improve, and you're comfortable with different things. So that's a very important thing. Now, where can you study creative writing and how can you go about it? So after your 10th grade, you can pursue whatever stream you like. Okay, a lot of people say you have to go for humanities. There's no such thing. A lot of people said you have to go for commerce. Again, no such thing, because commerce, personally for me, I don't like economics. I don't like business studies. So why should I go for commerce, right? I went for biomaths. I took science and maths because I love those subjects. So there's no harm in going for whatever subject you like. No problem at all. After your 12th grade, literature and language is a great option. Now, the reason I say literature and language is a great option is because literature is kind of like your case study, right? You're learning the anatomy of a book. You're learning about the works of different writers over the years in different settings, different contexts, and it'll help you, sort of have a tool or an arsenal which you can employ when you start writing. So it's kind of like a case study, which is really good for you. And language, again, I said grammar is very, very important. But know that this is not necessary. You don't have to take literature and language. You can go for other courses and still be able to do creative writing. If you take, for example, Robin Cook. Robin Cook is a writer who writes medical thrillers. All his books are about medical thrillers, and that's his background. His background is in medicine, and he writes such amazing books. They're very, really, really interesting books. So anybody who are interested in medical thrillers, do read those books. And another example is John Grisham, who writes it's all fiction, and all his books are based on law, and they're really, really, again, law based thrillers, and they're really, really interesting books. So you can take other courses and even employ them in your writing. And then obviously you can go for creative writing courses. It's not necessary, but they are an option. Now, creative writing courses, if you just want to start out and if you're just trying to explore the realm of creative writing, you're just trying to explore what it is and you just want to start out, online courses and workshops are your best bet. There are courses on Coursera and Udemy. I have personally done these. Coursera, I did a poetry workshop for free. I mean, you just have to pay for the certificate, but I didn't do that. I was just looking to learn the subject. So you get a lot of courses on Coursera. And on Udemy, I did a novel writing course. And it's just to introduce you to these topics. It's really good courses. You can definitely go check them out. And I think as far as workshops go, a lot of online workshops are going on right now. I think even Mentor Hub is planning a creative writing workshop. So these are all really great opportunities to use when you're looking to start out as a creative writer. Then obviously, if you want to go a little further, you can take short courses. So the British Council in Delhi offers short courses. It's a 9-week course and you get a certificate, but it's not a diploma, it's just a short course. They also have a crash course that's 3 weeks. And then Xavier's Institute of Communication in Mumbai has 2-hour sessions and 6 of them. So these are short courses. And if you want to go for like a diploma, so that you get like a diploma certificate, you can go for Symbiosis Center for Distance Learning in Pune or IGNOU. IGNOU, the course is in 1 year, and you can extend it up to 4 years. Now, if you really want to do like a literature and creative writing thing, what I suggest is, as you do your bachelor's in literature or something, you can take a diploma in creative writing along with it, because it's distance learning and you can do it along with your literature course. As far as degrees in creative writing go, there are no courses in India, at least no bachelor's creative writing degrees in India. And the best bet you have is to go abroad. Look for courses abroad. There are a lot of courses in creative writing degrees. So, and the reason most people take degrees in creative writing, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're looking to expand further. So in my case, I'm actually considering maybe taking a doctorate in creative writing, and that is an option. So if you want to take a doctorate in creative writing, you have to take a degree in creative writing. And to do that, you need to look for courses abroad. So the one I'm doing is from the Open University in the UK. It's a distance learning course, and I am doing a degree in English literature and creative writing. So I get a degree in creative writing. So that is an option you can consider. So career opportunities, as you can see, it's a big list. So there are no shortages of jobs if that's what you're worrying about. The first one is obviously to be a writer or a novelist or a poet. We have copywriters. If you see these advertisements, slogans, things like that, that's what copywriters do. Proofreaders and editors, you need to have really, really good grammar. You need to have very impeccable, you need to have an intimate understanding of the language to be a proofreader or an editor. And you're the ones who are going to break the writer's hearts. Then we have ghostwriters. Ghostwriters are basically people who write for other people but don't get credited. So, for example, if there are celebrities who want to write their own autobiography, another writer would write it for them as a ghostwriter, but they won't be credited for the work. The book would be published as celebrities. And then there's web content writing, which even I do. I actually wrote the content for Mentor Hub website as well. So it's a really good choice as well, because especially because there are new websites coming up all the time now, because everybody is going online. It's a good option to consider even for students now. You can even check it out if you have good language. Definitely check it out. Then social media managers. A lot of brands have social. All the brands are on social media now. If you take Twitter or Instagram, especially on Instagram, and there's actually this brand I like of sanitary products called Carmesi, and they put out really, really beautiful posts like about women's health, about body positivity, and things like that. It's very beautiful posts, very beautifully written. So things like that. It's again a creative writing job. Then we have newspaper or magazine journalist and columnist, and this is not the normal newspaper. This is talking about like you have your supplements, right, with feature writing about arts and things like that. That's also a creative writer's job, because it's more there's more entertainment in it than just fact giving, right? Then we have legacy writers. Legacy writers are people who write about a family's history and about people in a family. So basically, if there's like a very prominent family, a family of artists or maybe politicians or something like that, this person would have, first of all, have to be very, very good at research. So they have to research each person and go back, generations, and write about this entire family. Then teaching, I don't have to explain that; it's a no-brainer. Advertising, marketing, again, you guys know this. Script writing, TV shows, movies. It's all things that you guys already know. It's just that nobody's willing to go forth into this. And script writing is a great idea for a lot of people, because there's a lot of short films coming out these days. We have platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime and things like that, where you can actually get to eventually, because especially with fast content, short films are becoming like very prominent these days, because people want to finish like a movie in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. People are too impatient to sit for an hour and all that. So script writing is a great opportunity. Freelancing, now with freelancing, you can do all of this. You can call yourself a freelance writer and you can do all of this. So if you don't have to like get stuck with one thing. You don't have to just be a copywriter. You don't have to just be a editor or a proofreader. You don't just have to be a web content writer. You can call yourself a freelancer, and you can decide what kind of jobs you want to do. You have job flexibility in that case. We have blogging. Again, you all know what blogging is. And then we have specialty writing. So you'll be focused on one particular kind of writing. So there's travel writing. A lot of companies that send you abroad to travel, and then you can write about them. We have hotel reviewers. We have guidebook writers, food critics. There's actually a brand called Eat Kochi. It's an initiative in Kochi. It's about food and stuff. So I actually met with the founder, and he was looking for content writers so that they could write about food and the restaurants and things like that. So there's so many opportunities for content writers these days and creative writers these days. So don't worry about jobs and all. And then how can you prepare for a career in creative writing? This is again for people who really, really want it. And I'm actually going to repeat some of the points, because these are the things that you really, really need to focus on. First thing, write. You can't be a writer unless you start writing. A lot of people say, I want to be writers, but they don't write. So please start writing, and start writing today. And you have to be consistent. They say writing is like a muscle. So you have to train a muscle every day in order for it to be like strong and flexible, right? So if you're somebody who works out, you'll know. Like if you work out for like a month or something, and then you take a break for a month, what will happen? Your muscles will lose all the flexibility and the strength, and you have to start from scratch again. So writing is like a muscle. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep training it, and make sure that you can take a gap for like a week and all, but don't extend beyond that. You have to keep writing and be consistent. And it doesn't have to be like big things. Just write for like maybe 2 lines, 3 lines. That's all you need. But it's all about getting your pen on paper, so that like when you actually want to sit down and write something longer, you won't have that emotional or that block, basically, that people call writer's block, which is not writer's block. So it's just that fear that it's not going to come out, and you won't get that flow. So write every day, let it come out, like whatever, even if it's bad, even if it's garbage, it's fine. Just keep writing and be consistent. Second one, read. It's so important. So important. I can't tell you how important reading is. Read all kinds of books. Read fiction, read non-fiction, read different genres, read different writers, read writers from different years and things like that, different eras. There are so many different kinds of writing you have to read. And if you are multilingual, read different. If you can read different languages, read different languages, because it will give you a different perspective. That's actually something I regret, because I'm a very slow reader in Malayalam, and there's so much great literature in Malayalam, and I wish I could read it. So if you can read, definitely please read in different languages also. It's very important. And when you read, this is, I know it's asking too much, but if you can, read a book 2 times. The first time, just read it to absorb information and to understand the story and things like that. And the second time when you read it as a writer. So when you read it, look at how they've written it. How has the writer written this particular sentence? How has the sentence been structured? How does that book, how does the book flow? How are the characters changing? How are the characters evolving? What is the starting? What is the ending? And why have they written it that way? And not only the good things, even look at the bad things. What mistakes has this writer made? What are the things that you didn't like about this book? Are there any plot holes? Are there any grammatical errors? Look at everything. So you have to critically analyze every single part of that book, and it's kind of like doing a case study for yourself. So you don't make the mistakes that person made, and you can also absorb and mimic what that person has done right. So a great way to find your own style of writing is to mimic other styles of writing. So you read a book and you try to write something with that in a similar kind of style. And what happens is, like, you kind of put your own twist to it, because you can only write like yourself. And at the end of it, you'll kind of discover your own style of writing. You'll discover what kind of writing you like. So reading is so important. I can't tell you how important it is. You have to read. There is no two ways about it. Develop effective communication. Again, convey your messages clearly. It's not about having an extensive vocabulary. It's not about having like great ideas. It's about how effectively you communicate them. It's very important. And study grammar. Again, you have to love the language. If you want to be a writer, love the language. There's nothing else you can do. You have to love the language. Whatever language you're writing in, love the language more than anything. And you have to keep brushing up your grammar. Okay, even if you're somebody who writes constantly, you have to keep. Even I make grammatical errors even today, so I have to go back and check. There's actually a mistake that a lot of people make. Even I make this when I write my first drafts. So it's something called mixing tenses. So you start writing in present tense, and then you somehow slowly slip into past tense. So it could be something like, I walk and I go and I sit on the bench, and a cat comes up, and he looked cute. So again, in that sentence, I went from present to past. So which is wrong, right? And a lot of people miss that. So when I go and read back, when I'm editing or proofreading, I notice it, because I know that it's wrong. But a lot of people, they don't realize that they do this. So grammar is very important. I can't tell you how important it is. And advice for prospective writers: write. Please write. There's nothing else you can do. A lot of people are in love with the idea of being a writer, not with writing. And that's not going to get you anywhere. Write. Fall in love with writing, not with the idea of being a writer. Write as much as you can. Write every day if you can. Write whatever you want to write. You don't have to show it to anyone, but keep writing. There's nothing else you can do. You want to be a creative writer? Write. There's nothing else you can do. And with that, I'm going to end. You guys can contact me on this information. And I just want to add one more thing. I just released my book. So if anybody wants to buy this book, please go on Amazon. It's called Dancing with Gravity, and it's a collection of poetry and short stories. It's a lot of confessional writing, as in I'm writing about thoughts that I have, and I'm converting it into a fictional stories. So do check it out if you really are interested. And these are my contact details. So if anybody has any questions, you can address them to me now.